Welcome back to episode 32 of the People's Champ podcast. Today we are joined by our special guest, Hydralisk. How are you, Hydralisk?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys inviting me on. I'm ready for this, and it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, glad you're here. Today's topic is we are talking about top 5 favorite decks of all time. There's a new expansion coming, so not a lot to talk about other than, the new expansion. We're going to take some time and talk about the past, things we've enjoyed, specifically decks or deck archetypes that we've enjoyed.
Absolutely. And we're happy to have you on, Hydra. It is long overdue. We have finally completed the Born to be Wild hat trick.
That's true. We had fish.
Yes.
We had sheep and Nate on. Didn't know Hydra for some reason. Like, wait, why did we do that? That was silly of us.
Well, I'm here now.
With all that said, let's get right into it. We'll listen to the trivia from Fish.
Greetings, friends. My trivia for this week is how many 0-mana cards have there been in Hearthstone history?
Is this one of your trivias, Jordan?
I had a Hearthstone Jeopardy question, which was which class is the most zero. So I had to count for all the classes. So I know which class is the most zeros,
Fish.
and I know how much they have.
To be fair, you don't know how many
But I don't,
neutrals.
well, there's like 4. We all know how many neutral zero costs there are. There's 4 cute ones at a 0-2. Like, what do you mean? It's all the spells that are hard.
Does the coin count?
No. It would be collectible cards you can have in your collection. So we do this Price is Right style, Hydra.
Yep.
So you'll guess a number, whoever's closest without going over, and then the guest gets to decide when they want to go first, second, or third. So if you know what, you'd go first. If you don't know what, you'd go third, so you can like get the best number, like one above somebody
Well,
else.
there's no way I actually know it. I have played some cute lock, but I know that there's some like
Well, the
priest
spells is the hard
shenanigans.
stuff. The 0-mana spells.
Right? Priest has some 0-mana shenanigans going on.
Priest has a ton of 0-mana shenanigans going on. They have the most zero cost cards in Hearthstone. You're
I'll
welcome.
go second. I'll go second
Second?
to make it fair.
No, you should go third.
I will
you
go
should just
Okay,
try
I'll
to
go
win.
third.
Yeah, just go third. just screw whoever goes second.
All right, I'll go third.
And I think for the pod, you get to choose because I'm still winning in the total. Is that how this works?
Yeah, it's 3-1 right now because our
Mm.
guests won when Jordan was away.
Nice.
Um,
Way to let me down.
yeah. So I'll go second.
That means you're first, Jordan.
Jordan's first.
I'm first.
Person who probably knows it.
I'm
No, I
holding
don't have a
back
clue.
like as much as possible from like not Googling anything. Like my hands are here.
Yeah, it's a bit scuffed because there's also Druid, right? Druid has all the ramp and like the pounce and the moonfire and stuff. It's kind of just a ton, Like Shaman also has all the 0-mana overload nonsense.
That's true.
And then what? There's like 4 neutrals, 5 neutrals, 5 neutrals, 12 priest, 8 rogue, 10 shaman, 30. Well, hold on. Yeah, there's 10 shaman. I think there's a ton of shaman, right? Because there's like all the fake cards, like ancestral healing and all the totem buffs.
We're not counting how many you can run in a deck, right? Like not duplicates. We're just talking
No,
card names,
X2s
right?
don't matter. Yeah, just total cards. I'm just gonna go with 65. Hope it sticks. Oh, is that way too high? That might be way too high.
I pretend I didn't react.
I mean, I've already said it. I'm screwed now. That might be way too high. It's probably way too high, actually. Shoot. Yep, I screwed that up. I should have gone 45.
I'm gonna maybe grab the bottom. I don't think I want to do 1 because what I'll do.
I already have my number.
I'll do 37. That's me grabbing.
Oh.
That's a really hard number for Hydra. Do you go 36? Wait, no. Do you go 1 or do you go 38?
Well, my number was my original number, non-final answer before Vaapad said that was 28.
Ooh. Well, now
Now
you should
the
just
only
go 1.
problem is the problem is 36 is way too close to 28. So I'll be a little rebellious and say 19
Oh,
because that way I could have gone over.
19 is not over. It's if I had to re-guess and not be stupid, it's probably like 45. 65
I
was
think there's
stupid.
less than 36. I think, or what'd you say?
'Cause it's-
36 or
yeah.
37?
37.
It's like there's like 12 for priest, 10 for shaman, 8 for rogue, but then there's like 1 for paladin. So like it falls off a cliff. So this is probably stupid. But let's listen to the
My
answer.
answer is 19.
The answer is 47 cards. And of those 47 cards, 4 of them are minions and 43 are spells.
What?
Well, 5 of them are minions.
Well.
But I said 45. Oh, I'm so annoyed.
You would have won.
I won.
I wish I'd have won. So
Off
as soon
the
as it said
back of Jordan's
65, I was like,
committee.
wait, that's so stupid. I should have gone
I thought
45.
it was
and it's
less.
47.
I thought it was less than 36 or whatever. I didn't think it was that many. That is way more. I guess
There's a ton of
sometimes I
0-mana
forget.
spells that just don't. That
I
just suck.
forget how many expansions and mini sets there have been. Now that like Once you, I mean, I don't know if this is the case for you guys, but once I started playing Wild as my main format, I don't know the order of the sets that came out. Like I can't say like if you ask me what were the last 6 expansions, I would screw up the order because I used to pay attention to it in standard. Now there's another one, right?
I have Hearthstone
Yeah, that's a
open because I
lot.
was working on stuff before this. My numbers were off. Shaman only has 7. Rogue only has like 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4? That can't be true.
You have
It only has
crafting on?
4? No, I don't. But with
What
crafting on,
are
you
the
lose
4?
the
Counterfeit
uncraftables.
coin.
Counterfeit coin,
Counterfeit-
backstab, prep, and shadow step.
Shadow Step.
That's crazy. I thought they had way more than that.
Shadow Step shouldn't be 0 mana.
Wow, that's a
That's a
different
different thing
conversation. But
entirely.
yeah, most classes have 2 or have 2. It looks like a lot of classes have like just a couple. Warrior has Inner Rage, Provoke. Demon Hunt even has 2, which is kind of funny. Yeah, 65 was stupid. I should have said 45. Which I mean, obviously.
So it's 3 to 2 to 1 now.
Yeah. So Vaapad wins, right?
Yes.
Well done, Vaapad. Ah, yeah.
So we'll get into our bread and butter here. We're doing top 5 favorite decks of all time, and since you're our guest, we'll let you lead off with your number 5.
All right, for my number 5, this was a tough choice trying to figure out what all I was going to pick for this. And to give a little background, I guess, on what my choices are, I'm choosing based on not favorite because of how good they were, but favorite based on like how much I actually played them and enjoyed the deck, not necessarily how great the deck was. But one of my all-time favorites, top 5, is going to be the Karazhan Zoo Disco Lock. With the Doom Guards, the Defender of Arguses, the Knife Jugglers, the Dire Wolves, the Silverware Golem, paired with your Malkazar's Imps and all that. I loved that deck. That's actually, I'm pretty sure at the time, it was either the first time I hit like rank 5 or 10 or whatever, like back when that first came out. Because I used to play, I mean, like you started off at rank 25, and then once you made it to rank 20, I don't think you could fall back from that. I think once you hit rank 15, you can never get worse than rank 20. And
Right.
I just floated in that 20 to say like 13 because I didn't know what I was doing, right? In the first couple of years of Hearthstone, I never tried to like really be good and optimize decks. If I won, I was happy, and if I lost, whatever, I would just click the next game. But this deck was the first time I actually really started climbing, and it was fun. I'd like to go back in time and play it again because I think I used my Doom Guards too sparingly when I would play this deck because I used to hate discarding my cards. But a 5/7 with charge is pretty sweet. So
I actually forgot about that deck. I was like a brand new player in Karazhan pretty much, and I very much enjoyed that deck because it was so budget friendly.
Yeah,
It's basically like
it
if
was.
you just played through Karazhan and you had like half the cards you needed in the deck and the other half of classic cards pretty much.
Yeah, there's no legendaries like in the entire deck.
A solid deck.
Good one of my favorites.
I miss Silverware Golems being a relevant part of any meta.
Yeah, right.
They're all right.
I like it's
0 mana,
yeah.
3/3. Whoa.
Yeah, it was dope. Loved it. You get the burst with the Soulfires as well. Definitely a good time.
My number 5 is Hadronox Druid from like the Dark Moon Fair. So like Hadronox had been out for a while. You had like Nizoth and you had Witching Hour, but then you added Nuzoth, so you could just go full greed and just have like you could build your different res pools to be different Death Rattle minions of each tribe and have like a lot of big boards to deal with. And because it's Druid, could survive that long with Oaken Summons and Ferocious Howl and all that good stuff. Very fun deck. I tried it the other day. It is not good.
No, no.
It's a little slow.
There's a little bit of support. I can't remember the name of the new legendary right now, but we played a Hydronox Druid on the Theorycraft stream that did pretty well.
That 8 mana one that like has taunt, Death Rattle, reduce the cost of a minion you're
Yeah. Yeah. That was run. There was another. We jammed so many decks that it's hard to remember everything. But yeah, there's hope. There's hope. Put it that way.
Oh,
Not saying it's gonna be good, but there's hope.
gotta have the meta slow down any sort of way first, though.
Agreed.
My 5th deck, I'm gonna go Control Warlock, either a Gul'dan Demons removal build, which is like a more modern build, or one of my favorite decks of all time in Hearthstone. And I have no idea why. I'm pretty sure this was like a homebrew that really didn't catch on, but it was a Shixo. I don't know how to say his name. XIXO. He's like a legend in Hearthstone, right? Zixo? Yeah. And it was an old deck way back in the day. And like you'd use Void Caller to pull out Jiraxis, which at the time was a 3/15 minion. If you got it in play. And so it had like the taunts, like Defender of Argus, Sunfield Protector, Ancient Watcher. It also had, at the time, what was the only lifesteal minion in Hearthstone, which was Queen of Pain. At the time, it was like, when you deal damage, heal that amount, like lifesteal wasn't a keyword, and like she had different art. It's like the card's gone through some changes, but you had that and PO for like your healing. That was like the nuts. You hit people with a surprise like Queen of Pain PO, which in hindsight, maybe was it not a demon back then? I don't know how that worked with Void Caller Drax. I'm not really sure. Maybe you just had to high roll. But that deck was just like the perfect level of like janky and like if it worked, like just so nuts. Like it wasn't consistent, which is why I'm sure it probably wasn't actually a very good deck. But when you'd hit the stuff, it was like so fun. And then one of my like first legends, not like my first, but one of my like earliest legends was just like jam and control Warlock with Dan and stuff. So gotta hit Warlock, my most played class, with some love.
I think Queen of Pain.
I was gonna ask though about the original lifesteal card. What about Wicker Flame Burn Bristle?
That was
it used to have
printed way later,
Was it way later? Okay.
I think.
Because I just remember
That
its
was
text
Gadget's
didn't
That's
say
Gadget's
lifesteal. It said like damage dealt to this minion heals your hero, but
Queen
it
of-
didn't
Yeah.
say lifesteal. And then now I think it does say lifesteal.
Yeah, Queen of Pain is a GVG card, and this deck would have been from that era. You know, it would have ran
Yeah.
Implosion and Dark Bomb, and they probably ran Melganis Draxus, and just some classics, truly.
I wonder
Some
if they're ever
absolute
going to add to
classics.
add GVG to classic.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, Nax would come first, right? I'm pretty sure that's confirmed.
Is
It's
it?
like a when. I think one of
I gotta look this
Dean
Queen of Pain up.
Dean Ayala, or Ixar. I'm pretty sure in one of his AMAs he said they're interested in that, and it's more about timing than a if, but could be wrong. He says a lot of things, and I only so pay attention, despite them being a wonderful community resource.
I never really knew how much. I mean, I watched the AMAs every once in a while, but like I started binging, stayed a while, and a big part of their episode format, especially early on, was going through those AMAs. And it's interesting seeing like the things that are wild specific that they would pull out, getting up some of that stuff like 2 years after the fact.
Yeah, he dropped some information in those. Pretty cool stuff. I like how candid he was this most recent AMA with like just like openly saying like, yeah, like our returning players, new players, strategies all suck. They're just awful. It's like the features here and the systems here are terrible. Hey, respect. Respect it. Because they, like, you got some pretty fantastic features and systems in Hearthstone, and then you look there and it's, like, just terrible. One of the things they announced today, I think, was that if you go, like, 120 days without playing Hearthstone, you get, like, a returning deck and, like, thing or whatever. They announced today that, like, that's repeatable now. So, like, if you quit 500 days ago, came back after 120 days, and then quit again, you can come back again and get more returning stuff. So if you're listening to this and you haven't played Hearthstone in forever, wait till the expansion patch goes live and then return so you get your free stuff. I think you can get up to 150 free packs. So definitely do that if you're planning on returning to Hearthstone, which I don't know how big our audience
Or
has
if
never
you've
played
got-
Hearthstone in the last 120 days, but
Or if you haven't played on your alt account in
oh yeah,
like-
if you have an EU account you
Yeah.
played once 120 days ago, that might be
Yeah.
me, honestly. I haven't played since Demon Hunter Odd, like I went 28-1 and then stopped. And it's forever haunted my deck tracker because it's like best deck and it just says EU Demon Hunter, and it's like, well, yeah, I played against a bunch of nonsense. Like these aren't real players.
Unfortunately, I play EU more than I play NA these days.
Really?
I
Yeah.
crafted
Nice.
Whizbang for EU and Asia, and that's what I play over there
Ah,
whenever
how
I go
about
over there.
I got sick of playing on Asia because there was so many connection problems. I
You
was
could
having
pull,
major issues.
Pull an Otters and buy a China account and play in China. They use a
As
whole
long
different
as
system.
I'm
and
so afraid
features
of like if I'm breaking some sort of rules.
Oh,
and
you're
they're, like,
absolutely breaking
ban-
rules. You have to buy an
then they
account.
What if I lost my cards or something? Then ban that Hydralisk card. I have
Yeah.
all of the cards. I don't want to lose them.
I mean, I would feel bad that I just said that the Otters has a China account, but he streamed it, so like I'm not doing any harm here. But yeah, I mean, technically, I imagine
enough.
buying a Chinese account as an American is against a lot of rules, not just Blizzard rules, probably.
Fair enough.
But yeah, you can like get a good deal though, because Hearthstone cards obviously don't have resale value. They like, so you get like a $700 invested account for 100 or whatever, right? And poor Otters had like APM Mage on that server, and like that was it, and then lost APM Mage.
Rip.
Anyway, we could talk about that all day. That's a whole other topic of conversation with like wild changes. But
Number 4, I'm going to rewind to Gadgetsan, where Draconoid Operative was released. So I absolutely loved that card, and that was what made Dragon Priest great at the time. It was like this, Dragon Priest was already viable, and then they released Draconoid Operative, and then it was ridiculous. Because that card, it like not only did it have, the benefit of discovering a card, but it already was premium stats. It wasn't understated. And at the time, a 5/6 on the board was a big boy, right? Like other people were playing, I don't know, like 5 mana, 4/4 Azure Drakes, right? So this this was a lot bigger, discovered a card, and it just made the deck so much funner and better, and it already fit like right smoothly into the Priest package that I played this constantly. And I loved at the time, it was a mid-range deck, board based, where you made trading decisions and all that sort of stuff. I guess a time before you could just sit there and get your board completely cleared and comboed out and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I loved the board based mechanics of this deck. It was good.
Plus, it has a goaded voice line.
Oh yeah,
Secret
Yeah.
agent coming through.
Yeah, so good. Absolutely good. And then I used to run Bran in the deck as well, because Bran, you could, I mean, if you drew Draconoid Operative late, you could do it twice, or you could discover, there's like all sorts of ways you could utilize Bran, because most of the dragons all had battle cries, right? So
I definitely enjoyed Dragon Priest stuff.
Me too.
Definitely realizing now there's some decks that I don't have on here that maybe could be.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many decks throughout the history of Hearthstone, even since you and I have been playing. Like I've got probably 5 or 6 honorable mentions, honestly.
I've kind of
Okay.
bundled mine to like type of deck for some of these, and I just have like a couple examples because it's like that's like my way of doing honorable mentions, I guess.
My number 4, I forgot about. Well, I didn't forget about, but I didn't think about it in the context of this episode until I was driving home from work literally like an hour ago. And I was listening to State of Wild from last year. Questline Druid from
From the 3 weeks where Seedlock dominated the metagame and that was playable.
Yeah.
Questline Druid.
With Guff, the tough.
Yeah, I mean, you just
Yeah.
gain a bunch of attack and armor and kill the Seedlock sometimes, and then
You
sometimes
can
the
still
Shadow
play it
Priest.
a little bit. I was
Yeah.
playing Odd Beast Druid the other day with it in there. That was fun. Not good, but it
Yeah, I'm
was fun.
sure there's some things it can beat. You throw in
Yeah.
some poison seeds and a gloop and some flipper funds, you could probably beat like the mech decks and stuff.
Fun deck. Very pretty uninteractive when you look at
Oh,
it.
it's
Like
extremely uninteractive. That's why it kind of won back with Seedlock.
you just swing face
Every
and
turn.
If they don't have a taunt, they can't stop.
Or if they have to kill you first.
Yeah,
Mm.
and it's
You'll
hard
lose to a
kill you
wide little
because
board.
Right, yeah, it's hard to kill you though because you gain so much armor.
Yes,
too.
while you gain attack, you're gaining armor. So yeah, you just smorg him. That was a fun deck. I hit my first like high legend with that deck. It's top 50 for the first time with that deck.
I like the Oaken Summons build with Park Panther where you didn't run Wicker Flame and stuff. That was my favorite build of it.
Oh, Ogun Summons Park Panther? Yeah, I did that. I like the Umbra
That
Owl
sounds
too
fun.
in that deck. Copper
Mm.
version was my favorite. Forgot about that deck. That's a good one. It's just hard to give a deck like that on here when you only could play it for like a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 4, very similar to the last one, but also a little bit different, is Control Paladin. I think this deck might even go further back than Control Warlock did. I remember playing Control Paladin. Had like Molten Giants in it before it was nerfed the first time. Had like Lotheb, True Silver. Like it was old school, just like Control Paladin. I remember like just like camping at a campground in like the summer, like when I was a kid, playing on mobile. And I got like my first like above Diamond 5. So it was like, I guess like rank 2 at the time, which would now just be like Diamond 2. And I was like popping off. Like I hadn't hit Legend yet, right? This was probably like 2016 if mobile was out then. Like it was super old.
It was.
And it was
Mobile was definitely-
it was a good time kind of learning the game with an OG control deck. I don't remember the
Mobile
list at all.
Was definitely around already in 2015, because I only
Yeah.
played mobile
Okay.
in 2015.
It was probably 2015 because 2016 is like going to be like KFT Whispers Old Gods, right? Like it's probably before all that even.
That's 2017. 2016
Oh,
was
is that Angora?
well,
then?
KFT was 2017. 2016 was
Old Gods?
Old Gods, Karazhan, and
When you started.
Gadget Stand.
So I think this was
Yeah,
before
yeah,
you
Mean
started
Streets,
playing
yeah.
Hearthstone, Andrew. I think this would have been before that. Like
What's funny is Old Gods is what got me back into Hearthstone, because I had left.
Ah.
I mean, they gave you a free legendary. Everyone got Cthulhu.
Yeah, that was a very successful thing from them that they've started doing every expansion since. Although I'd argue less successfully. Although Renathal was probably more successful or similarly
What
successful.
about Snip Snap?
And
So, I mean,
Vargoth.
well, yeah, right, but those cards like nobody cared, right? Vargoth has stuck around a while, but at the time, like there wasn't as like Renathal right now, like the hype of like getting a new card right and the shakeup. Like Renathal is the most popular card in terms of like in percentage of decks on HS Replay for I imagine both formats right now still. Like it's such a popular card.
Kel'Thas was a free card too.
Yeah, that one was quite strong, I believe. Oh no, was that not
Marin the
strong
Fox.
until Marin the Fox Omega? Yeah, and Flight Master Dungeoneer or whatever, these cards that like nobody touched.
I bought a stupid BlizzCon ticket just to get Marin the Fox in gold.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Did you go to BlizzCon at least?
No, it was one of those like virtual tickets, not like a actual in-person ticket.
Okay.
It still was not cheap.
No.
Like $60 or something.
Imagine I wish I had Golden Gilblin Torque whatever. If you spent money during beta, you got it.
Got the Mechatorque.
Yeah, that's the ultimate
what's it
flex.
called? Yeah.
It's Goblin Mechatorque or whatever, but that's the ultimate flex is getting that.
There's Golden ETC as well.
Yeah.
The original one.
I think that one's slightly less rare. It was like from going to the first event basically for Hearthstone. Maybe that's more. I don't know. But those both
I
like
think
you
it's-
can't gold them. than like they're super OG. Those are like that's the cream of the crop in terms of Hearthstone cards.
Oh, I have to pick between my top 3. That's rude. All right, well, we're gonna go. This is hard, but at my heart, at my core, I've always been more of an aggressive player, and I'm gonna go back to Mean Streets once again because that's when Patches the Pirate came out. And guess what? I disenchanted Patches because I thought a 1/1 legendary was crap. Because I didn't know. This is also coming from the person that disenchanted Blood Mage Thalanos when I first cracked it. Like I had no idea, right? And then I recrafted Patches. Obviously recrafted Blood Mage Thalanos in gold. Same with Patches in gold. But the original Fiery Winaxe Pirate Warrior with Small Time Buccaneer is I have
1/2
to,
Buccaneer.
yeah, like I have to be honest with myself. This was the era where I would hit the gold cap every day with wins. Like you had to, if you won 30 games in a day or whatever, you would.
That was absurd
Yeah.
to get that.
And I would hit the gold cap.
I think I hit it once or
regularly.
twice in my life.
And that's when I remember the first time I did it. I was at work and I wasn't feeling well. And I told my boss I needed to go home. And I went and I sat on the couch and I was playing on my phone and I hit the gold cap that day. I'm like, I'm going to keep doing this. This is awesome. Get 100 gold a day. Because it's for every 3 wins, right?
It's crazy that you used to have to play 30 games for that. You can get 100 gold a day now. Much easier. The Tavern Pass is way better than that.
Way easier, yeah. But like, yeah, at the time, it's like that's how I'm gonna grind up my gold, and that's what I did. So I used to hit the gold cap constantly with this deck, and we ran the OG Sir Finley in it to get the new hero power. So you're looking for like the Hunter hero power or life tap, anything that would do damage face. Because
Specifically those
armor.
2. Those are the best.
Yeah, I mean,
Those are the
if you end up getting like the mage hero power, like okay, fine, right? But yeah, Hunter and life tap for warrior or warlock was where it was at, and we didn't have like Ankar back then, so you just jam either a couple Arcanite Reapers or Death's Bite. I don't know if Death's Bite had rotated yet at that point in time, or if there was a rotation yet. Either way, it was awesome. Death's Bite would great with the Armani Berserker.
I respect it.
Because that's a Nax card, right? Death's Bite? Yeah, getting some flashbacks.
That is
good
in
times.
fact.
Yeah, definitely the original
Nax.
Pirate Warrior that's gonna be my number 3.
My number 3, the first deck that I hit Legend with, Odd Warrior.
Oh.
But not the iteration I hit Legend with. My first iteration that I hit Legend with was in Ashes of Outland, Odd Warrior. But I actually prefer the Boomsday build where you just ran like Dynamatic and Dr. Boom and all of the mechs, and love that deck. Like the Boom Squad and stuff. Or not Boom Squad, Omega Assembly. Big fan of
Oh,
Odd
that's
Warrior.
right. I love Dr. Boom. Then they nerfed Dr. Boom, the hero. We got it back though.
That's about when they brought it back right before Ashes, and I think that's why I was playing it in the first place. I had a lot of time during Ashes, as we all did. But tell you what, hitting Legends in a meta with Raza Priest while playing Odd Warrior is not a fun experience. I don't recommend it.
That does not sound fun.
You eventually learn to play the matchup, and you can like gam like 20 or 30% win rate off of Raza Priest, but it's like still.
Yeah, you just beat the bad players who don't seance their 5/4.
At what point is it worth your time, right? Like, or do you just auto concede when you see it?
I didn't because I was
auto concede, but it just feels so bad. Like
you're gonna like play for
emotionally.
20 minutes.
Right.
25 minutes.
That was also meta with like Dark Glare and something else that Odd Warrior actually had a decent matchup into.
I love that fuse thing.
I love that.
That was a trivia from a little while back, a couple episodes ago.
So you would have got that right. Maybe. I assume so.
I only know it because I listened to the episode.
Big
There
brand.
you go. There you go. My 3 is, a deck that has existed since Classic or maybe a little after Classic and basically still exists. It's Face Hunter. I don't like current standard Face Hunter. I never enjoyed Taltrog or like Ramming Mount or Brock Coda Bane Quick Shot stuff. Like this deck's just did not enjoy that. But Kill Command, Crackling Razor Maw, Alley Cat, Leper Gnome.
Oh, that was almost on my list, man.
Maybe a little Lothab High Main top end if you're feeling crazy.
That's what I built for my son when he first started playing the game with the Crackling Razor Maw and the Alley Cats. Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Face Hunter back in the day. My second most played class. If I wanted to just jam some aggro or some curve-ish, kill your opponent, I played some Face Hunter.
The Ungoro days.
Excellent pick.
Yeah.
Ungoro was peak Face Hunter.
My favorite version of it was like a mid-rangey-ish version, which had like Lothab High Mains in it, and maybe even like Paladin Shredder, but it was like the OG down to the ground Face Hunter with like Wolf Rider top end was also a good time.
Ready to ride.
And you get to play the Smork song too while you're doing it.
Oh, dude, the Smork song is just an absolute classic. I still enjoy that song.
Me go face.
I like simple decks like that sometimes where it's like you have like one lethal out. It's top decking kill command or something, right? And so it's like it's super easy to recognize that you have only one lethal out. And so when you hit it, it feels so much better. Like there's some decks when they're a little more complicated, a little more in depth. You can do different things with your cards. Like you don't realize you're getting unlucky or unlucky as easily. So it's like less cool maybe. It's a less like simple experience. There's a lot of decks like that have those moments. But Base Hunter is always one of those where it's either you won on like turn 4 or like you get those situations where like quick shot off the top into kill command off the top was their only out and like you'd hit it and it was just like so absurd. Just an absolute scam.
My number 2 is a little bit different because I would always fancy myself, like I said, like an aggro player. So my number 2 is more of a combo deck, and that is the original Mecha'thun Warlock. The what, like the Blood Bloom Cataclysm combo. Like we ran Emperor Thorson, and then we had Hemet to thin your deck. Reno Jackson, just because I mean you're running duplicates, but like you destroy half your deck anyway with like Hemet, and you're just drawing the entire game, right? This deck actually gave me more confidence in the fact that I could play a different style, right? So I think this one was popular around like 2019. I'm going to say something like that. And up to that point, I would play, you know, more aggro, mid-range style decks. I tried things back in the day like Control Warrior and Freeze Mage and stuff. They weren't really my jam, those style decks. And then I tried to do a combo deck. And I didn't think I was like had the chops for it, basically, right? Because it wasn't something that I had ever really done before. And when I first started playing it, I was horrible. Like we're talking 35% win rate kind of thing. Like it is not working out. And just slowly over time, I was having so much fun learning how to play the deck that I didn't realize I had flipped it to over a 50% win rate. And I was actually climbing with the deck, which was great. And I didn't even notice because I was just having so much fun learning it. And then when I would pull it off, I was super stoked. And the reason it's my second favorite is basically because of that, because it made me not even look at my rank. I was just actually having fun.
I cursed that deck many times as an Odd Warrior because it always felt like, because like Odd Warrior doesn't really have a win condition, or at least I didn't used to. And I felt like every time I was like close, like I would like build up like Dr. Boom, and I'd like have like some good mechs sticking to the board. That was the win condition back then. I would have mechs stuck to the board. I'd be like one turn away from killing a Mecha'thun lock, and then I lose. It was so frustrating. I would still play it out every time, even though it was absolutely incorrect. That deck only got faster over time too.
Yeah, I wonder what like the oldest wild deck that's still good now is, like in terms of like when it was first good. Mecha'thun Warlock's got to be up there. That's been good since Mecha'thun was printed, right? Like
basically, yeah.
Odd Paladin.
Yeah, Odd Paladin's been gone for a year and a half though, hasn't it? Like,
when was the last time you seen a Jade Druid?
yeah, Jade Druid fell off too. It depends if like how
Pirate
specific
Warrior.
you get.
Because they only ran idols
Oh.
towards the end, right?
Pirate Warrior's up there for sure.
Oh yeah, because the quest Pirate Warrior was actually still good even before they printed the quest line. It was still definitely
I
playable.
think that's possible.
Because I didn't even actually, I was a naysayer when it came to the quest line. I was
Oh, you're
I was playing
right,
Pirate
yeah.
Warrior the expansion before the quest line came out, and I didn't even run the quest line when it was released at first because I figured it was slowing down. Like I want to play Lazos First Mate on one. I didn't want to
Prevailing
play a quest.
wisdom too. Like I'm literally listening to that episode of State of Wild right now, and they're like, "Huh, we were wrong. We can play the quest on one." Because they were talking about like the quest would only be good in like Odd Pirate Warrior or Mouth as like Reno Pirate Warrior.
Yeah,
They're
people
like, "No way, you play as
underestimated
Pure Pirate
how
Warrior."
quest lines work. They didn't like
All-
think
yeah,
about
all of them.
the middle stages where like 2 cannon shots makes up for not having one drop. Like,
Yeah, it's
Right.
not like, because a good example of a bad one would be the Shaman quest, the Murloc one, right? Where
Right.
that was bad because there is no middle stages where you get rewards like halfway through. You were just wasting your first turn. But now there's those every few turns you get a reward, so much better. Hey, look, the Hearthstone devs learning. That's awesome.
My number 2 is Silence Priest, Circa Angora, when they released Humongous Razor Leaf. Yeah, you played down your Ancient Watchers and your Humongous Razor Leafs. You played Purify on them, which was still kind of memey at the time. You did Silence, Divine Spirited, you Inner Fired, you just killed your opponent with Can't Attack Plants.
It's a big
I
plan.
was so excited when I saw that they brought back Humongous Razor Leaf for the core set last year because I knew that it meant that they were printing Silence, and I was so excited about that. And then they did. They did Focus Spirit in the core set. They did Whispers of the Deep, which is really good. They did a Sharon Ritual, which is kind of okay. It's not great. But like the amount of support that deck has gotten recently makes it at least like a consideration as like a tier 4 deck, you know, instead of being utterly unplayable. Whispers of the Deep is like the best card in the new build because you can like remove aggro boards early on.
Nice. I never myself actually played a lot of Silence Priest, but I've sure lost to it, and it's quite frustrating. So it's a good
And
pick.
it's really funny too, because like playing against it, you're like, okay, well I have to kill everything, even though they can't attack. They can just like attack randomly. But as a Silence Priest player, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna throw a 4 or 5 out, let him trade his minions into it because he knows he has to, even though I have nothing in hand to like kill him with it. But it's like a good way to clear off the opponent's board because it's got pseudo taunt.
And it makes for a tough decision, like say you're an aggro player, right? And then you're like, okay, I could ignore this and try to kill him before, or waste all my minions, trying to take care of what you have on the board, and then you don't have anything left anyway. So aggro against it, yeah, it was never fun.
And like the Ungoro version used to run Faithless Shambling. And so like if you left a Razor Leaf on the board on turn 3, turn 4 you have a 4/8 taunt. Aggro basically ended up having to trade into it either way.
Love the part where you said Purify was still Mimi at that point, as if it was ever not Mimi.
Well,
Purify has never been an acceptable card to put in your Hearthstone deck.
Purify was
It's always been a joke.
Was memed so hard when it came out in
That's true.
Caravan,
They're like,
and
this
then
is the worst card I've ever seen.
and it found a home at least. It's not like great, but like you need card draw on a deck like Silence Priest, and that was what you had back then. That and Powered Shield.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I saw like a card that recently where like when it came out it was like so trash. It's like the worst card ever. Oh, it was the 6-mana Spell Hunter card that summoned 2 animal companions. So, like this is the worst card I've ever seen.
Is it worse than Duskfall and Aviana?
No, but it was just like fun of the outrage to the card. They're like, this is the worst card I've literally ever seen. You could remove the conditional and this card would be average at best. 6 mana for 2 animal companions is an unplayable card.
Right. Duskfall and Aviana can at least Mayeb it now and get some value off of it. Why would you do that when you could just Celestial Alignment?
Right. All right. My number 2 is one of those piles where I talked about, and it's essentially like the combo or APM deck of the month. So like specific like examples would be, I really liked Malygos Druid, played all sorts of iterations of Malygos Druid. Same with Mechathune Warlock, played several of those over the years. And then things like APM Mage, like I just love playing, like I like combo decks, so it's like you're trying to stay alive while setting up a combo. And I also love combos where you just play a million cards in one turn, just like an absurd amount of cards in one turn. I like the skill level of like having to play super cards super fast, making super fast decisions, or just like playing really fast. You've got it solved. But I'm a big fan of that play style. I agree with the arguments that like people like Getmeow have for like those type of decks like shouldn't exist. I get them. They're very, very fair and valid. But I personally am a huge fan of using my 144 hertz monitor in my gaming mouse and just absolutely lighting up the game and just like never failing at my thing. And also like Ignite Mage. It's not like a deck I particularly enjoy for any particular reason other than it's just like it's so unique in the way that it's an APM deck. Like you're literally just playing one card that you keep drawing as fast as you can. And it was always funny to like people never concede to the deck because they're like, this guy can't kill me. It's like, what do you know? Like I'm throwing infinite fireballs at your face. You're not winning. And it's like it's always
people don't get to finish.
it's
Some
crazy,
people
right?
rope out.
Whoever these people are who rope out, they're doing me a service because they let me have the fun of throwing a million fireballs at my opponent's face because I never fail
I
out.
wait every time.
That's so
Even
insane.
like Mozaki Mage, people would go off with Mozaki Mage, and sometimes they would fail.
That's
right?
crazy to me that people could fail with Ignite Mage. But yeah, mobile, right, is like a big reason, I guess. You're limited to more. But yeah, so like I like playing a lot of cards in a turn. And Ignite Mage had a lot of things that I thought were particularly interesting. And like it goes back to it being like a super simple brain dead deck kind of. But like it would give these scenarios all the time where it's like, okay, my combo is 3 Hearthstone cards. I have 2 of them in my hand. If I type like the exact card I need, which is the third of this combo, I win. If I don't, I draw any other card, I lose. And so like you always get in these moments where it's like, okay, if I type like the right card, this is like a cool clip because look at me go. I won the game. And now that it's worse, it's even funnier because like every win with current Ignite Mage is a scam because the deck's terrible. So every time you have like a 1 in 19 to draw your Chandler or girl that you need to win, it's like it's kind of sick because it's just like, oh, I won. And it's like everyone like baby rages because Ignite Mage is winning and it's like a scam. So it's like an extra layer of like fun. But yeah, so those are like the 3 examples. I just really like combo APM. I don't like combos as much. Like Mechathune more like I prefer like Druid where it's like play a million cards and then Mechathune or something. As opposed to like a Thinking Man's combo like Pillager where you have to like count and stuff and it's not that hard to play them in time. I prefer like just vomit cards on the board. People overthink with Druid all the time. Just vomit cards out. You've spent 55 mana. You're probably ahead. You're probably winning. Just keep spitting out cards, man. Stop thinking.
Yeah.
Just order your like 2 things you need to order right correctly. You can even place like Gloop, or you can even play Flipper Friends before Gloop. Just don't trade first. Like just play your cards, man. It's not that serious. You're gonna win. You have infinite mana. But yeah, those are some examples. I'm a big fan of playing lots of cards.
That brings us to honorable mentions. Do you have any, Hydra?
Okay, I'm gonna have an honorable mention before we get to our number 1. And this is not because it's good, but it's because it's I mentioned earlier when Old Gods came out, we had everyone got Cthulhu, right? And it's It's what got me back into the game. This deck was horrible, but get this, I got 500 wins with it because it's how I got my golden Jaina. Horrible deck, but Cthulhu Mage, absolutely trash tier deck.
500 wins with one deck is just unheard of for me.
Like, that is how I did it. That is how I did it. When
500 with one deck is nuts.
yeah,
Because
because
I had it like 100 or
I maybe had 80, 70, 80 wins on Mage prior to playing the deck, but I came back because a friend told me that we all get a free legendary, and then I purposely, instead of opening packs, I didn't understand things. I crafted the Cthulhu support cards, even though a lot of them were just like commons and rares or whatever, but because I was free to play, so I wasn't buying packs, right? And was it Doomcaller, the one that brings Cthulhu back so you can do it again? So cool. And I had just for fun a Ragnaros in there. Like, I'm like, why not? So yeah, it basically, and then it still had Mana Worm, because why wouldn't you play Mana Worm, right? And Sorcerer's Apprentice.
So sometimes you'd win without Cthulhu because you have good cards. Makes sense.
Yeah. I believe Sylvanas may have been in there. Just why not? Water Elementals.
Nice.
Some Fireballs. Nice. And then all the Cthulhu cards, Disciple of Cthulhu, the one that's the 4/2 with the Divine Shield. The other one that had spell damage that was specifically a mage card. It was like a 3/2.
2 mana, 3/2, yeah. Spell damage, give your Cthulhu +1/1.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just fun. It was fun, and I didn't know how bad it really was because I was playing like between that rank 20 and rank 15. Just having a blast. When that Cthulhu went off, and then you did it again when you brought it back with Doomcaller. It was just great. So that's my honorable mention because it got me my golden Jaina, and it wasn't even that good.
Cthulhu Priest was my Cthulhu deck of choice. That was right when I started. So I came in with like no collection. I was like, I have all the Cthulhu cards, and including like the Priest one. So I like did that one.
Yeah, he was playing Cthulhu Priest. I was playing Jade Druid. I don't imagine he liked friendlies against me very much.
But yeah, so I have a whole list. So I have Even Shaman from like Fortune of the Barons when they printed Toad of the Wilds. So like that card is cool. Odd Paladin just kind of in general, but like older Odd Paladin, not what we have now. Pirate Warrior from like the time Ankar was nerfed until Questline was printed. Like I like that era.
You do play a lot of that.
Spiteful Summoner Druid, Spiteful Summoner Priest,
Spiteful Summoner's fun.
Starliner Druid, Holy Wrath Paladin.
Oh, that's a good one.
Big Hand Shaman, more recent edition. And Shudderwalk Shaman from like the Witchwood, where it was Life Drinkers and Grumbles and stuff. Infinite Shudderwalk with the Life Drinkers. Those are my honorable mentions.
That's a good one. An annoying one, but a good one.
Those
Life Drinkers, man. I remember some people didn't think that was going to be a good card.
Yeah, Life Drinker is super average card in most things.
They just found a home, right? Like it found a home like right when it was printed, which is why, it mattered.
I suppose I'll give an honorable mention to Miracle Rogue, any version. That was always a lot of fun to play. Just auctioneer stuff, or just playing lots of cards and like making big weapons. The standard like in Wild Cute Rogue with the new cards looks kind of fun. Make like a 15 attack weapon. A 10/10 with stealth on turn 3 or something.
The theory crafted ones. Yeah,
that the location and the forge that makes a weapon. Those look kind of cool.
That did look a little toxic. I'm not sure that I'm gonna like that.
Implock also looked a little toxic. Turn 3, 10/8, 10/6s. Pretty fun. But now you just kill the 1/3 when you play a real deck, right? It's not going to be that good. And yeah, Miracle Rogue is one. I mean, I like the Dragon Priest. I like token decks. I like combos. I like everything, right? I've always been a variety player. Like
Gibberling Aggro Druid.
I've pretty much always just played whatever was in the top 3 tiers of a meta report, like my whole Hearthstone journey.
See, I wish I did that because I was a stupid Hearthstone hipster that when I saw something was great, I was like, I'm not going to play that. That's the best deck in the format.
Hate it. There's those people who just hate good decks and good cards.
Hating
good decks and good cards is super weird. You shouldn't do that.
It's different. I have changed.
The cards that are good and see play, they kind of predict metas. Like Hearthstone's are a really solved game before people build decks. To the usually archetypes are made with archetypes in mind. There's less reward for deck building in Hearthstone than other games. It's throw all the mechs and standard in your deck, call it mech mage, right? What are you gonna do? You have 4 cards to your options. And so not playing the good stuff is super strange because that's the stuff they made sure was fun to play. They know they know a large percentage of what the meta and the decks are gonna look like when they come out. They're a little more refined. Sometimes things miss and are too powerful, but they've put extra time and care into these cards. They know it's gonna be good. Play the good stuff. It's fun.
I like Homebrews.
Homebrews are fun too. There's no wrong way to play Hearthstone, but hating a deck and not just trying it is kind of the wrong way to play Hearthstone.
I mean, I'll go months without playing whatever the new hotness is. I haven't played a single game of Pirate Rogue, for example.
It wins games.
Sometimes when I want to turn my brain off, I'll play that deck, but we'll get to that.
Well, Speaking of Pirate Rogue, not exactly what you're thinking, but the Kingsbane Pirate Rogue.
Kingsbane, right?
Not the mill Kingsbane, but I'm gonna go with not the more even the most recent Kingsbane, which hasn't been good in like a year or two. Anyway, it was when Myra's Unstable Element came out. That card, it was like my favorite card. So Kingsbane already was pretty sweet, right? And when Myra's came out, I can't tell you how many times I won when I should not have won. It draws your entire deck, right? Like it fills your hand. You're already just vomiting everything on the board. You're buffing up your weapon. You have your raiding party and your cavern shiny finder. So you're getting your weapon back. Like it was already an awesome deck. And then with Myra's, like, oh, I need some eviscerates. I know how to find those along with some preps. Like, why not? Like, I stole so many games with Myra's to the point where obviously I did the thing that I usually do and I crafted it in gold. And I have an entire gold Kingsbane Rogue that I don't get to play anymore because it's not very good right now.
Gold cards are a trap, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't craft gold. Yeah. Everybody who has gold cards is like, dude, I wish I didn't have any gold cards. Because once you
I have
start.
too many. I have too many. You know that heal zoo deck?
Sure.
I crafted that whole stupid thing in gold.
That's crazy. That was like a month that was good.
Secret Paladin, like OG Secret Paladin, that's all gold.
I know this Martian Brew the other day that was like, if I could like hit a button and like turn all of my gold cards I have now, like if I could have like a day of full refund on every card, I would get rid of every golden card I have and never make another golden card. And because I have so much dust, never pre-order again. But it was like he's basically like, yeah, I would back out of these golden cards if I could. This was a mistake. Gold cards are a trap.
They are, because what happens is, for example, with this deck, my number one here, when Myra's was dropped, because that's Boomsday, I think, it was a legendary and it's just a spell. Like golden spells to me are silly, right? Because golden minions, they sit on the board, you get to see it. Golden spell is on the screen for like
it's just for when it's in your hand,
right? So it doesn't do anything, right? So but when it came out, I needed to craft it gold because guess what? The rest of my deck was gold anyway. So now I got to spend
there you go. That's the trap.
To keep my golden coin.
You get to a point where you have so many golden cards that you make a new deck and you realize, oh, I'm only 5 off golden. Let's upgrade these 5 cards. And you're sucked back. You're sucked into the trap.
Sucked back in.
Well, you do a thing like White Delight, and you just disenchant or write off 3 classes of Hearthstone. You're like, I'm gonna play 7 classes in Hearthstone so I can have golden cards. I heard that, and I was like, oh, come on.
I would never, never.
Pain and suffering in my heart. Variety is the spice of life. Oh my goodness. Like,
gotten to the point. I don't think I've crafted any golden cards yet.
Good.
But
good.
If
your house is worth less than $1 million, you should own no gold cards.
I don't disenchant golden cards anymore though, unless I have to for the dust.
Well,
but
sure.
I have so much dust I don't need to. So I keep golden cards and I play the golden versions, and I'm like, man, I'm starting to get decks that are like mostly golden. In some cases, I packed golden, because I didn't pre-order or I didn't like buy the mini set this last time for Sunken, and I just happened to pack a golden Epsilon, so now I just have golden Epsilon.
No way.
Yeah, don't craft them, upgrade them.
Well, sure, if you're gonna get them, upgrade them, but
yeah, upgrading now. I almost wish there was some sort of you've spent 100,000 dust in the past because you've crafted this many gold cards. You know, here's your refund.
Because
you can upgrade.
You'd like that, but
no one's keeping track of it, right?
It
but
makes sense that you don't. Right?
Kind of.
You willingly interacted with the old system, right?
My number one is Witchwood Death Rattle Hunter with Catharina and King Crush and Charged Devilsaur and Playdead and like Devilsaur eggs and Nerubian egg.
Oh, that's so good.
I miss that deck terribly. Yeah.
That's an excellent pick.
Easily my favorite deck of all time. I jammed so many games with that deck. And like I was bad and like ran Nizoth on the top end, which you didn't need to do, but like you play enough like 5 and 6 mana like 5 and up Death Rattle minions that it was worth it. I just love doing it. I ran Sylvanas in there and like Belchers.
Excellent choice.
Nizoth was for many, many years my favorite Hearthstone card. I don't know that it is still. It can't play it anymore, so it's hard to maintain its favorite quality. But easily one of my favorite decks of all time. I'm waiting for Classic to catch up with Witchwood so I can go back and play it.
Might be
That'll be a while.
My number one is kind of like the last one where it's like the flavor of the month, but it's whatever the best turn your brain off deck is. Sometimes when I want to play Hearthstone, I like don't don't want any emotional turmoil at all. I really want to work too hard. I just want to like sling some cards. I wish I was better. I wish I didn't do this. But my number one deck, my favorite deck of all time, is Big Priest.
Yes, I knew it. I knew you were gonna pick.
I looked at my deck tracker today. Like you were talking about how you had 500 wins like a Dude Mage. My most played deck, according to my deck tracker, which admittedly is a bit scotch because it doesn't have mobile and it doesn't have when I don't have it open. But my most played deck is Dark Moonfair Big Priest. I remember, I think Andrew was over at my house, Sean, my friend from my school, Sean, was over at my house, and we just were playing Hearthstone for like the whole night. And it was like one of the only times I've ever broken the 100 gold. I went 30 and 15. It like took an entire day. I don't know how people get 100 gold in this game. Maybe the deck was slow. And I looked it up, and my most played deck is Dark Moonfair Big Priest, and it's like 40, 47, and 19. So it's like, I don't play that many games of one deck because I'm a variety guy, but every once in a while, you just turn the brain off, sling some Pirate Rogue, sling some Big Priest.
Those all-nighters were always when I hit my gold cap. I used to like hit gold cap. Like, I feel like I did it probably 10 or 20 times, and it was almost always at Jordan's house. But like, yeah, most recently, I played like 150 games of that big hand shaman. I had like 100 wins with it. I'll stick with the deck for a while if I'm enjoying it. I love variety, and I'll switch deck to deck. But like,
yeah,
if I think I've found something off meta, I'm like, I'm gonna make this the meta breaker, but I need the stats to prove it. I'll play a game. I'll play a deck for like hundreds of games, not hundreds, but like 100 games.
But yeah, that's like whatever like the good deck at the moment is that like lets me turn my brain off. Like sometimes I just don't want any like ranked anxiety. I don't really want to think. It's like I'm tired, you know. I want to sling some cards, so you just play like an easy deck. Big Priest, which you can play today, and it's like tier 2. So welcome back.
And I agree because I played it somewhat recently. I've played, I don't know, maybe let's say like 30, 40 games with it. But I used to play it a bunch a long time ago, and I would just watch Netflix or watch like a movie or something on YouTube or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, did I draw palm reading? Sweet, cool. Now I can get my minion earlier. All right, your turn.
You have a couple of minute
just
decisions to make that like keep you interested and involved and make you feel like kind of smart, even though like, you're not really doing much.
Yeah. And then before you know it, you watched a whole movie and you've gone up some ranks.
Right.
Like, that's sweet.
Because the deck's good.
Yeah. I mean, the most recent iteration of Big Priest is not my favorite. I've been playing it a little bit lately because I got stuck at Diamond 5.
There you go. Play the brain dead deck. Let's go.
I just need to get to Legend before the end of the month.
Yeah, turn the brain off, sling some games. It's the life.
I'm quickly coming to the realization that I really, really do not like Neptulon as a card. Like,
you have to figure out how it works.
No, I understand how it works.
Super
fine.
complicated
I hate playing against Big Shaman and then now Big Priest. It's like not enjoyable.
Just gotta have a way to kill it on turn 3, man.
Yeah, let me just.
One of the really annoying things as the Big Priest player is you have like a board of like 2 Neptulons, 3 hands, and like 2 Bloodigahoons or whatever. If your opponent has Hysteria as your hand is immune while attacking, so your whole board but the hand dies.
Oh, really? Oh, shoot. I messed that up today. Yes. I was in a Big Priest mirror. And
I was wondering if you knew that. The hand is immune while attacking, so it'll clear the whole board but the hand if you Hysteria the hand.
I Hysteria the Neptulon, and he went to attack something, and the hand attacked dead. I was like, oh, that's great. Just do that every time. But then it attacked both of its hands, and it didn't work anymore.
Yeah, you just do the hand, you clear the whole board.
Are you running Mass Dispel?
As a Big Priest? Or as the opponent? No.
For the mirror.
No. You have the 1 mana silence at the board.
What's that one?
The tradable card. Tradable for silence the enemy board.
Shard of the Naru.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one. Yeah. Okay.
That card.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you need that card.
That card's in there.
Because that's how you win the mirror.
Well, you win the mirror by
What did that? What's
having the last Neptulon on the board?
That's tradable. It came out in United Storm 1.
Okay. Prior to that, I guess it would have been the Mass Dispel.
And also, you can Gift of Luminance, 3-drop. You can do that on your opponent's Neptulon, and then whack, kill their Neptulon with it. It's sick. You can do some cheeky things there.
Because if you can't kill the enemy's board in the mirror, all you end up doing is just trading over and over and over again. I remember.
Yeah, you trade a lot. Whoever has the last Neptulon wins. You should kill him.
What's this? The Colossus, the 7/7 Death Rattle, get the other 7/7 when that was.
That's not in there.
Core in the deck. You guys are just You're just bumping into each other the whole time, trying to figure out who can go face. But if you ran the Master Spell, then you just win.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't figured it out, Neptulon, if you have it in 2 hands and like they would just pass, that's 24 damage. So like anything on top of Neptulon is just lethal. So every time a Big Priest makes a Neptulon, they're presenting lethal because you get the 2 attacks for 8 each, and then your 2 hands attack for 8. So 24. Luminance makes 2 more hands, so you end up with 16 each attack.
And I run Vivid Nightmare too to give you that more often. The exact same. It's the exact same card except Divine Shield has 1 health.
Yeah, you make a 7/1. Interesting. It seems terrible in the mirror if they have the weapon.
I mean, you get a 1/1, but then you get the same 2 hands, right?
Maybe that's nuts in the non-mirror, huh?
It's 2 more copies of the.
It has to live though.
No,
You have to make it in the same turn, or it has to live.
it works exactly the same way as Gift of Luminescence. 3 mana, target the thing, it summons
It
another
is
one. except
particularly way
it's
worse
7/1.
with Gahoon, though. Because you do Gift of Luminance Gahoon sometimes.
Yeah,
That
it
beats
is.
aggro.
But that's still a second copy to summon more stuff in your deck.
Yeah, maybe that crit's good. I don't know if people. I'm sure people maybe have tried it, but yeah. I mean, that's my number one. It's just brain dead deck. Like sometimes I just like sometimes
You heard
I'll
it first
play.
here. Best deck, brain dead deck.
Well, yeah. Sometimes I want to
Ow.
try hard, and I'll play a deck, and I'll like try really hard. I'll like think, I'll like hand read, I'll do it all, and then 4 games in, I'm tired and it's boring, so I'll just jam Big Priest and do better.
I have a real skill issue. Every time my opponents play Big Priest, they illuminate into Shadow Essence. Every time I do it, I never get it offered.
My
3
opponents
mana, Shadow
never do
Essence.
it. I always do it. I enjoy Napshilon an absurd amount, but I think that's just Big Priest's what they have to deal with these days. You can certainly
You're
win
running
without
so
it too.
few. You're running so few minions.
Just one card. It's 1 of 30. Just don't draw it. So
That's
annoying.
my other skill issue.
Easy. Don't draw it. Just like patches.
All right. Well, Hydra, thanks for coming on, sharing your favorite decks. It was great having you on. And do you have anything you want to shout out before we head out?
Well, first of all, thank you guys. It's an honor to be on the show. I definitely appreciate it. It's fun to do a bit of a rewind and talk about our favorite decks, kind of like looking at the angles that everybody comes from and their play style and all that stuff. This is really cool. I enjoyed that. And check out borntobewildhs.com. It's the podcast that I'm on along with Electric Sheep City and Nate Wolf. You can check us out on Friday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We stream live on Twitch. And yeah, that's basically my plug. It's a good time, and keep listening to this show because it's a lot of fun. Thank you guys.
Of course. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 32, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.
Later, everybody.